Talk about training again today, maybe getting some more bodies back slowly. Defoe, Neil Henry out there, a good sign with the bye week to get guys back for the home game.
Yeah, obviously the bye week's a blessing in disguise for us, so we can get a few more healthy bodies out there. But they're all progressing along really well, and by early next week, hopefully we'll have the majority of the squad back.
Was Michael Bradley out there today?
No.
What is his status?
He's had a little lingering issue with his foot that he just needed to take care of, and that looks like it's happened. So it just means he's just got to get off it for a week, and this is always planned to do it at this time, and we've got a couple of weeks off. It's been planned since day one.
So that's separate, because last he had a quadricep in a groin was what the diagnosis was. This is a separate thing now?
Yeah, no, this is something that he's had. He can play on it, and he's had it for a long time. It's a nerve issue in the foot. It's not it's like just a toothache kind of thing. You can still play on it, but it's just annoying. And so he just had a little procedure just to kind of take care of that, and it was always going to get done over these 2 weeks.
This was the thing that was bothering him in pre-season too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Defoe and Henry, are they just practicing on their own right now?
Well, they're not on their own, but they're with the fitness coach, and they're progressing really well. And so there's no need to really get them in just yet, but all signs are really, really positive.
It's just hard to see. They're all stick men from over here.
Well, I don't know, if you get more green on this field, we could come over on this field. So.
You got New England and you got Vancouver right after. What do you think how do you think that will impact the squad selection and squad rotation?
Well, that's why we have a squad, to deal with 2 games and travel straight upon each other. So, as I said, everybody puts on a Toronto shirt, whether it's a game, whether it's training, or whether it's anything. They have an opportunity to prove themselves and to play. And so everybody, all 20-odd guys, will be keen to play.
Brian, you gave up, I don't know how many corners it was, 16 or something last time out, but obviously you don't want to give up that many set pieces, especially with the kind of delivery that team had. But is it kind of a glass half full that these are shots or chances that are being sent away from the goal? You've only given up, 7 goals in 6 games. Your team's given up some of the fewest number of shots in this league. Do you see that? Do you see some pluses in those corners? And 2, you must be happy with your defensive record so far.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, obviously against Dallas, the irony of it is we know one of our things is we don't want to give up very many set pieces. Sometimes football games happen where it just falls like that, and you end up getting 3 or 4 corners in a row, and that's just that's just football. When we got together, one of the first things we had to do was we wanted to be tight, we wanted to be hard, and we don't want to give the opposition any kind of clear opportunities, and we've done that very well. And I think if potentially if we got that call with a penalty call, we could have been sitting with 12 points right now. So into that side of the game, we're really pleased with. Unfortunately, I've been wanting to work on the position, the ball movement, the combinations and all that. But with obviously our ability not to be able to be on any sort of fields, and with our injuries, it's kind of putting a hamper on that. It's slowed it down a wee bit. And that's stuff that we're really working on now that we're kind of out in the grass. We've got an identity now, and I think everybody knows we've got an identity when we don't have the ball, and now we're just working on our identity when we have the ball, and that's going to be extremely important moving forward.
Everybody thought offense would be boosted this year with the people you brought in. Is it because of their injuries you think that you haven't been able to score as many goals?
Well, it doesn't help, but we didn't want to be a team that scores 3 and concedes 4, and you can have, everybody talks about going forward, but in all honesty, if you don't have a foundation, you can't do anything on it. And so we had to build a foundation first. We had to get everybody knowing what each other's role were when we had to defend. We obviously wanted to move into that quicker with when we have the ball, and you kind of saw it in when we're in a low line, and now we need to start improving when we have a higher line, and that's something that we know we'll get better and better with. And the more bodies we get healthy, and the more grass we can get on, the more we're going to be working on that.
Do you feel a little bit for Gilberto? He's taken a lot of shots. He's been close this weekend. He was very close. It was, I think, a great save he made. Do you feel that once one goes in, that quite a few more might?
You see the progression in him. It's so hard when we're still a young man in terms of moving countries and completely different language, new friend, all this kind of stuff. It's so hard for players, and we expect a transition period. It's going to, due as it happens to even the top players in Europe. So, but what we see is that we see progression moving forward. The poor guy never had a pre-season either, when he got injured. So this is kind of his pre-season, and he's getting better and better. He's learning more English, even though it's horrendous English. It's still English. And we can see him getting better and better.
Are the forwards getting the kind of service that you'd like to see?
Yeah, definitely. I think, but I think in every single facet with the ball we can get better, and we will get better, and we'll work on that.
And sorry, I have to ask you a fashion question because our fashion writer is doing a story on the suits that your team is getting.
Well, I'm the best person to ask on this.
What are your thoughts about team dress? Do you like teams to wear suits, the Manchester United blazer and stuff, or you don't really care as long as they look presentable? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, in all honesty, any way that the players can get out of their own gear, because it's absolutely horrendous, it's awful, and get into something that's a bit better, into a suit, or whether it's a track suit. To tell you the truth, what some of them wear, even a rubbish bag, is probably better. So the more we can help these guys out in terms of that, the better, in my opinion. And all you got to do is just talk to Stephen Caudle. He looks like he's jumped off the top wardrobe to get in his jeans every single day. So.
And finally, on a more serious note, it's the first chance some of us had to speak to you since David Moyes was let go. You're now a manager. You've been at both ends, player and manager. Did you have sympathy for him, the task he was given, and what happened to him?
Yeah, of course, obviously, because what I've known of him briefly is he's very good at what he does. He's an extremely good manager, and in all honesty, his record shows it. And what Martinez is doing at Everton is just building on what David took so long to build, and it takes time at these clubs. And unfortunately now, these days, when the fans go and everything goes, it's a snowball, and it's a horrendous job. Sometimes you wonder why you're even doing it. But he'll get a very top job very soon, and he'll be extremely good because he is so good.
First leg, Champions League semi-finals taking place. Do you got a prediction after seeing Tuesday, Wednesday games?
God, you have to back Chelsea at home, and then the only thing about Real Madrid, they probably should have won 3 or 4-0, and you think it might catch up with them. But I'm going to stay Real Madrid because I think Ronaldo or Bale will break and they'll get one. So I'm going to go Real Madrid Chelsea final.